What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ty here, back with another video. If you are new here to the channel, welcome. If you are returning, what's good? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between an AR-15 rifle versus an AR-15 pistol. But before I get into the video, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like gun content and excites you and that and this and that, all the above, subscribe to the channel. If you thought today's video was somewhat helpful, hit that like button as well. It truly does help out the channel. It helps push out the 2A community. Everybody knows what's going on in the 2A community right now, so it truly does help the channel and help that algorithm so we can get that message spread out there. Okay, so I really wanted to make this video because I was inspired by my last video. If you haven't seen it, it is my BCM main home defense setup. Check that video out if you haven't already. It inspired me to make this video, so I want to just kind of do a little breakdown, the difference between an AR-15 pistol versus an AR-15 rifle. So I just want to kind of highlight a couple differences and just get right to the main points, and I don't want to get too far into depth, so stick around. All right, so first things first is this guy is unloaded. This thing is clear. So first things first is AR-15 rifle. Stick around to the end of this video. I will kind of give you a little insight on far as what is my favorite out of the two configurations. So stick around to the end. As you can see here, versus an AR-15 pistol. So AR-15 rifle, of course, they do look the same, as you can see. And so a lot of people would be like, oh, that's not a pistol. Well, this is actually a pistol. It's classified as a pistol. This has a 16-inch barrel, so this would be classified as a rifle. And then this is obviously it's in pistol configuration because it's shorter than 16 inches. The pistol, it does not have a stock on it, and it is less than 16 inches. So according to, as of right now, this has a stabilizing brace on it. Everybody knows right now that the ATF or the government, whatever, they're trying to rule out the pistol brace and reclassify this as a SBR. So a SBR is another word. If this had a stock on it, you would have to register this as a SBR or short barreled rifle and pay a $200 tax stamp and go through all that stuff if you know about that. And also that this does not have a foregrip on it. So if this had a grip on it, it would be considered, you would have to register this as an NFA item as well. But this has a brace on it, shorter than 16 inches, and that's pretty much that as far as that goes as of right now. This guy is considered a AR-15 rifle. This guy is 16 inches. Anything 16 inches or longer is considered a rifle. It has a stock on it, so you're good to go because it meets the qualifications and makes it legal. So why pick one or the other? Okay, so why one would choose AR-15 rifle, 16-inch barrel or longer, is because, for one, they don't want to have to deal with any of the issues with the ATF or the government or whatever. They want to have some sort of peace of mind. So if you meet the 16-inch barrel requirement, you don't have anything really to worry about. And I would say that, one thing with this is, so I would say velocity. So biggest thing about this is an advantage having this guy is velocity, bullet velocity. I'm not going to get too scientific or anything like that, but bullet velocity is going to be a lot better on a longer barrel. You will have the ability for that bullet, that powder, to burn. You're going to be able to reach out and touch, I would say, anything from 500 yards or longer. If you're doing long distance shooting, you're going to be more accurate with a longer barrel. So this is going to have an advantage over the pistol configuration or SBR configuration. Whereas this guy is a little bit shorter. This is 11.5-inch barrel. Like I said, you've seen in my video before, this one's going to be a little bit shorter. So depending on what type of shooting you are doing or what your application is, this guy right here is not going to be as good as ballistic wise, but nonetheless, it can still get the job done. You could probably push this guy out. I don't know. I haven't really tested the legs on this, but you can reach out and touch a little bit, but this one's going to be for more closer distance. And like I said, the bullet velocity is not going to be as good, but depending on the type of shooting you're doing or your environment, if you really need to reach out and touch, I don't know why you'd be shooting 500 yards or longer. You know, I mean, you can, but whatever your situation is, it's all dependent on you. But this guy, I would say, is it's going to be a little bit shorter, and that's going to be one of the advantages over having a 16-inch barrel. Why pick a pistol over the AR-15 rifle? Pistol or SBR. So one of the nice things about this is way more maneuverable. It's lightweight. You can kind of move in and out of corners depending on your setup. It's going to be, you know, just easier to handle and wield. And I think this is going to be very beneficial to somebody who is any sort of, you know, close quarters combat or something like that. It's going to be very beneficial. So I think this would be ideal versus the longer configuration here, the AR-15 rifle. Now you can still get in and out and around corners with this guy, depending on your training and stuff. However, it's going to be a little bit more harder to do. You know, it's really dependent on you. If this is something you're very comfortable with, then I would say definitely do it. You know, it's just the pistol configuration does have a little bit of an advantage over that as far as maneuverability goes, and I would just say it's just kind of a lot nicer. Another one of the differences, and one of the things that you can compare, is typically the rifle is going to be a little bit more cheaper than the pistol that I've seen. It's not always the case, but I say that because you can kind of find these guys. You can find these guys for cheap at some point, depending on the brand that you pick. But it's truly like the rifle 16-inch barrel. It's going to be, sometimes they run they're a little bit cheaper. So keep that in mind when you're comparing, just to point out some of the differences. I don't know what the pricings are looking like. I haven't been looking, but I think the prices are kind of going down a little bit, but they're pretty similar. But you can kind of save probably a little bit if you go with the if you go with the 16-inch barrel versus the pistol or SBR configuration. And for that reason, I'm not quite for sure. Maybe just because there's probably a few different reasons, but I won't get into that. So just keep that in mind if you're comparing the two. Right now, if you guys follow any of the stuff that's going on in the gun community, they're trying to rule out the pistol brace. So you know, that's up to you. If, like I said, if you want to have the peace of mind and having the 16-inch barrel, go with that. Or you could pay the $200 tax stamp, and you can consider this and register this as an SBR or short-barreled rifle. Take the stock off, pay the $200 tax stamp, do the whole process of that, put a stock on here, and then if you want, you could put a vertical grip on here, depending on what you want to do. But nonetheless, though, there are a couple of differences in the two. It's really up to you and what your application like what you require for your application. Some people prefer the smaller platform, prefer the longer platform to reach out and touch a little bit farther. And another thing to say about the 16-inch barrel is, as far as kind of more versatile, because you can kind of reach out and touch. Well, you can reach out and touch, and also you can shoot close quarters as well. So it does offer a little bit of versatility. Again, it's kind of subjective to kind of what you need it for, but really they're both going to get the job done. So one thing to consider is kind of what you need it for. Do you need a pistol configuration SBR, or do you need a longer barrel, depending on what you're doing? So if you stuck around this long, I will tell you kind of what my favorite is and why. I won't get too far into depth, but I'll show you guys I'll give you guys some things to think about as far as what my favorite is. However, it's all subject to change. Things change. So I would say out of the two, you know, it's just one of those things where it's all, like I said, it's dependent on your application. This can be versatile, but this can be versatile as well. This can be more effective at a longer range and versus this. So you can reach out and touch with this one. You can reach out a little bit, but you're not gonna, you know, it's like I said, again, the velocity thing is not gonna be as accurate. You can reach out and ring some stuff, but it's not gonna be as accurate. Some people do not care about accuracy. I've seen shorter configurations than this. Probably, honestly, the shortest I would go is 10.3 inches. Again, this is 11.5, so it's still kind of versatile. But I would say for me, anything 14 in anywhere from the 14 to 10.3 range is my favorite, is where I'm going to stick with. But I can let you guys know, I can post a video about that later as far as like what my favorite length is. So stick around for another video on that. So I would say out of the two, I'm not going to lie, a shorter pistol configuration is going to be what I'm going to rock with. And You know, I think that it's just for me, it's just nicer. It's easier to maneuver. Not saying that the 16-inch barrel is hard to maneuver or anything like that. I'm a pretty fit guy, and I feel like I work out enough. I can hold up a 16-inch barrel. I can move it around corners and run and stuff with it. You will get less exhausted with this if you're lugging it around all day. So it's just nice because it's just overall lighter. But you can still kind of reach some distances with this, depending on your training and stuff like that. But obviously, ballistics and stuff play a part as well. But this just looks more sexier too. Like, it's just clean. It just looks better. So this is what I would rock with. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as far as like what you would rock with. Would you rock with a pistol SBR configuration, or would you rock with like a 16-inch barrel? You won't have to worry about ATF rules. You're a little bit more versatile, etc., etc., etc. Which one would you guys choose? Let me know down in the comments below. These are some highlights. I just want to highlight some of the differences as far as the AR-15 pistol versus the AR-15 rifle. They're both good. I would say get both if you can. It's really just up to you and what you want to do. So keep that in mind. And that's all I had for you guys today. This is your boy, Ty. Peace.